everybody, welcome to Country Girl with Kathy Jarvis. And today we're going to just walk around and see what's going on in the first week of June. So, let's go. A lot of the flowers have pretty much gone away and we're waiting for the second round. But some of the things that we've done and what's happening, you can see the yuccas are getting ready to bloom. We haven't had any rain for, I know, at least 2 weeks. If you hear the dog barking in the background, this is live, this is country. You know, it's just what it is. 2 weeks ago I fell, and we have not had any rain since then. So I did have to top off the pond. So a lot of the water lilies are underneath the water right now. But it's nighttime, it's getting evening, so they're closed up. So hopefully they'll be okay. The rose bush was blooming beautifully. And now you can see that they have faded and getting ready for the next bunch to come on. With the knockout roses, the one thing about them is that you do not have to deadhead them. This is my hibiscus plant. It comes back every year. And it'll bloom later on. The crepe myrtle filled out nicely. It hasn't bloomed yet. The irises are done blooming. We've been weeding. Like I said, I got hurt 2 weeks ago. I haven't really been able to keep up with the weeding. Today, my husband and I have been out here all day weeding. He's done a lot more than I have because I'm still walking with a limp. Another knockout rose that's done its thing. Now my son got me some little accent lights that I put here. I'm going to put some flowers around there. These are the buckets that I didn't have enough flowers for this year. I had an awful hard time with the flowers this year. I do have a bucket of flowers up there and over there. Rearranged the porch this past month, so I like it a lot better. My chair's down now. The cage is for Hercules, which is a stray cat that's not been neutered, so I don't keep him with my other cats at night. The stubbies are starting to bloom. That was Dexter that just walked by. Hi, Dex. So they're blooming. I need to repair some of these angels. I'm thinking about painting them, not for sure. The bird garden, or the meditation garden, however you want to call it. I need to get in here and weed again, or get the flame thrower out. But you can see the roses are doing quite nicely. I need to deadhead. So I'm going to have to cut off all those that have bloomed already. So the second one. And then the bee balm and the phlox is all coming up nicely. The sedan is doing well. The lilac tree is already done blooming for the year. Little patio area. I still haven't gotten the fountain fixed. I am not for sure how I'm going to do that, if possible. Asters are coming up. I have a sun-gold tomato in here. Petunias I grew. A red cherry tomato here. More petunias I grew. And this is supposed to be a beefsteak tomato in this one. We made some progress on the shop out there. I'm not going to walk out there. It's a little uneven, and it's late in the day and I'm walking with a limp. This is the hose that I used to fill up the pond back there. Haven't put it away yet because I'm planning on cleaning that empty chicken coop really well. So in case I decide to get chickens, I'll have a place to put them. Okay, these irises are done blooming also. And nothing's, oh, the stubby's blooming here. But it's not too bad. He's been cleaning this part out. He worked on it most of the day. He didn't get this part done, but he's got all this done. I started deadheading the rose bush, and most of the pineys here, they're done blooming for the year, so they're deadheaded. Daylilies are just getting ready to bloom. I had one blooming earlier today. You can see they're called daylilies because they only last a day. This one bloomed earlier today, and now it's gone. And we got this all weeded, and everything's looking pretty good here. I still haven't deadheaded the irises yet, or the pineys on this part. But I did get this all weeded, my little setting area. It's weeded. I still have some water lilies here that I can sell. My son was just here this week, and he got me these solar lights here. So I put them across the swing, so they'll light up at night to show you where the swing's at. And the hostas are starting to put up their little spikes to bloom. So let's walk out to the garden and see what's going on out there. The grapes, they're not really doing that great this year. They put on a lot of little flowers and stuff, but they're just not producing any grapes, hardly. Just kind of nothing. So I'm kind of disappointed in them. I've really not had much luck with my grapes out here. Blackberries are blooming up a storm, starting to make the berries. So hopefully we'll have some good blackberries this year. I got 2 new ones back there in the back. So we're kind of trying to make more blackberries to fill in that area, this whole little cordon. Strawberries, was not very happy with strawberries this year. Not alone in that thing in this area, because a couple of the U-pick places have not opened up this year for their strawberries because they said the light frost really did a number on them. So I'm not alone on that. The sweet potatoes I have out here are doing nicely. The chicken wire has done the trick as far as keeping the cats from digging things up. The okra has come up. I still don't see any of the carrots I planted, but I made the mistake of not covering them, so they probably will not germinate. But the zucchinis have come up. And these are the strawberries I just planted this year. We got a few off of them, not many. The tomatoes are all volunteer tomatoes, so I don't know. I think they're red cherries. So we'll see what they do. Not for sure. Broccoli. Now I did my broccoli in 3 waves. This is the first ones I planted. These are the second ones, and those are the last ones I planted. As you can see, the first one's already gone to seed. It just did not make a head at all. I really have trouble with broccoli getting it to head up. I keep trying. Don't have much luck. Over here I have my zucchini. I have both the dark green and a golden one. And I have some cucumbers in there. This bed I have not gotten around to weeding. It's supposed to have cucumbers in it, which I don't see any coming up on it. It has parsnips. I do see some of those. And it has the green beans. So hopefully they'll do well. They were blooming yesterday, so they're done. Most of them are done blooming. Over here is the kale bed. It's doing great. The rosemary, it did not make it through this past winter. We had a really rough winter, and the covering, it had a lot of wind, And one night the wind blew the covering off and it got really cold, and I'm pretty sure it killed this poor thing. So I will have to dig it out at the end of the season when I'm cleaning up this bed. I did plant cauliflower in here, but I haven't seen any of it. And the cats are a wrestling match again. This one, still need to weed it, but I can see the cabbage coming up in it, so that's good. Green beans, this is a po beans. Something was eating them off. Hopefully they'll take off and start growing and get up the vines and get away from whoever was chopping them off. The irises that I transplanted, they're doing about as well as I expected. I didn't expect any blooms from them this year. I just wanted them to grow and not die on me, and that's what they're seeming like they're doing. It's been, almost 2 months now, so I think most of them are gonna make it. This is supposed to be the okra bed. I only see one okra coming up. I had 3 rows in here. I planted them too early in the season. And the chives, which I've got to trim back. Here is another strawberry bed, which needs to be weeded. This bed has always been bad. I don't know if it doesn't drain enough or what. It doesn't get enough sun. I'm not for sure what happened, but I never get any strawberries off of this one hardly. The potato patch is doing really well. All the potatoes have come up. I gotta get in there and weed in between, but the straw has kept it pretty much moist and stuff. So everything looks really good here. This little section I'm going to save and put in some Brussels sprouts seeds, but that doesn't, not until about another week. The bee garden is doing really well. You can see the daisies are about ready to bloom. Irises out here have already bloomed. I've got a mullein plant, which I just kind of left because I like them. Some people call them weeds. I like them. And my hollyhock is getting ready to bloom back there in the back. Now, over here, I have the melon patch. And I just did this last week, I think, if I remember correctly. Put down some pumpkin seeds. I got my pumpkins out here are doing fine. I tried starting them in the house earlier this year. Every one of them died, so I just decided to put the seeds out. Then I got the cantaloupe, the watermelon, and the butternut squash, and a couple more pumpkins on the end. And on the trellis, I have the tomato plants, which are doing really nice. As you can see, my chocolate pear actually has little pears on, tomatoes on them. So that's a plus. I've never tried a chocolate pear. It was one of those that you get as an extra packet for putting in your seeds early. So we're giving it a try. And then inside the herb house, we have our herbs, and they're doing really well. This is the catnip, the mint, the parsley. I think I got one little tarragon back there. The English ivy, but English lavender, camellia, the basil. Thyme has not come up yet. I had to go out and buy this one. It was a Sorrento. I had to go buy it because mine didn't do any good. The Greek oregano came up. The borage came up. I have one sage. It looks like 2 dill. And looks like might be. I had to go buy the rosemary too because it didn't. I didn't have a seed for it. So that's what that looks like. Here's my leftover tomatoes, which are spares. I need to water them. They need water badly. And this is the potting area. Okay. In the low greenhouse, I have the sweet peppers. You see the blooming. And I have a few that are actually can be harvested any time. The pepper can be harvested any time. I also have beets, some radishes, Swiss chard, kale, more Swiss chard. Plant of lettuce in here, but it hasn't done much. This lettuce is going to seed. I'm gonna have to hoe it, but I don't want to interfere with the peas behind it, which I'm harvesting from. One thing about peas, they have a hollow stem, so if you damage that stem, you pretty much ruined your peas. So you have to be kind of careful with that. So therefore, I'm leaving the lettuces until I get through with the peas. My cabbages. Notice I moved all my stepping stones out of the pathway and over here. They'll be fine here. The cabbages will grow up around them, but they're safer over there, and they're safer for me because I was tripping over them also. Here we have the carrots. As you can see, there's one back there that looks like it's almost ready. More Swiss chard. Turnips, which I definitely have to get in here and get. They're just about the right size. Some of these are getting almost to the point of getting too big. And then more peas. And then I have another pepper, another sweet banana pepper here. Now the reason it's in the tub is because I ran out of room over there. I could have squeezed it in, but I want to bring this one in this winter and try growing it inside in the grow room and see if I can keep it going and actually get some peppers this winter. Just experiment. You know, gardeners, we always experiment with things. Now let's look at the bucket garden and see how it's doing. Now these are the petunias I grew last year, and they put out seeds in these buckets. The buckets were in the greenhouse all winter long, and to my surprise, I have beautiful petunias out here. Carrots in the buckets have done pretty good, and squash is just coming up in this one. I still have no squash in that bucket. Now inside the high greenhouse, we have the sweet potatoes, which are going wild. They love it in here. I have to keep weaving them through to keep them out of my pathway, which is why I have the trellis, is to keep them upright. I have begonias, more spare tomatoes, another pepper. This reason this pepper is by itself, this because it's sweet pepper. Actually, it belongs in the other one, but it's in this one. These are my hot peppers. See, they're doing really, really well. And I have the cucumbers that climb up on this trellis. And they seem to be doing what they're supposed to be doing without me having to do much work on them. This is my sweet corn. It did not germinate as well as I liked. I went ahead and planted more. So hopefully they'll come up. As you can see, the original ones are still coming up, but they're just taking forever. And okra, same thing. I planted more seeds in here. These are the green beans, bluish green beans, and I have popcorn growing over there. So that is everything that's going on in June, the beginning of June. And like I said, I'm harvesting the peas. Gotta harvest those turnips. I gotta harvest the beets yet. And then I'll be planting more in its place. So, hope you're having fun in the garden. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and dream big, follow that dream, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.